Time and tide, ebb and flow, back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for being here, for clicking on the video, and for showing up for another Long Song Saturday. Hope that you guys are all doing well and feeling good today. We're going to be listening to Split Enz. We're going to be listening to their album Time and Tide. This is their 7th studio album, which was released in 1982. We're listening to this because a lot of you had suggested this. We've only listened to one track from the band, which was I Got You, quite a while back. But this album had been suggested by many of you. Let me try and get all your names up. I'm going to try and get through all of you. Let's see. MP the New Guy, Brian Wicks, Oron of Montreal, John Mavrodis, Toll Fan, I gotcha. Oron of Montreal again. Frank Pennigelli, you mentioned this one. Stephen LF, Brian Wicks, Cal Per Coles. Hold on, I got a second list of you. I tried doing my homework. I may end up repeating some names, but I wanted to make sure I got all of you as much as possible. MP the New Guy, I got you. Doppelinger, you mentioned this one. Mark Burton, I got you. Ruben Aotearoa, hope I pronounced your name correctly. And I think I got a decent amount of you. There absolutely may have been more of you, but I apologize if I missed any of you guys. So thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for, of course, like I said, joining me here from the beginning. So like I said, we've only listened to one track from them, so I don't have a good, idea of how the band is. And that track that we listened to is not from this album. So all of this will be new material. So that's it. That's the intro. Grab something to drink, grab something to eat, relax with me, just enjoy the music. Of course, got to get the plugs out the way. The Buy Me a Coffee over here. If you want your song request to be bumped up, you can do so. Patreon for exclusive content, and just like the video before we even begin. Why not? But yeah, settle down for a little bit. Just enjoy the music. It's a relaxed weekend. Maybe not, I don't know what day you're watching this, but it's just a relaxing weekend. I just did a bunch of yard work outside. I was out from about 8:30 in the morning till recently 11, just clearing up the yard. And so now it's time to relax and listen to some music. So let's do so together. We're going to dive into the first track, which is going to be called Dirty Creature. And of course, this first sip of moderately cold water is to you. Here we go. Oh, we're right into that, huh? Quick delivery. Okay. I like that laughter. Kind of reminds me of Talking Heads a little bit. Love the repetitiveness of that chorus. Love how that extra percussion comes in so strong. It's like all these sounds are clashing. Love those keys now. The synths in this part. Breathing. This would make a great Halloween track to add to a playlist. It kind of has a scary kind of sound to it, right? Turn it down a little bit. Dirty Creature would make a great song to add onto like a Halloween playlist. I love the singing in here and the delivery. The very, very quick, rapid-paced spitting of the verse. I really enjoy that. And then the repeated, I wanna thank, like that chorus is very, very catchy. On here, we're credited to both Tim Finn and Neil Finn on the vocals. Couldn't tell you who's singing lead or what. I'm not familiar enough with the band to tell you, so I have no idea. Regardless, the vocals are sensational, full of character, full of just like life, and I love the kind of haunting, cluttered direction that the song takes. You especially hear it in the break forward where you hear a lot of the random kind of percussion coming in, bump, 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 just like kind of bumping in the night. And then the piano solo gives kind of an off-kilter kind of feel to the music. And then those synths arise almost like an organ, almost like a fog over a graveyard. And it just has this really interesting sound. Even I have the Wikipedia pulled up for the song, like you guys can see here. Even the single art is a little creep. It's a little creepy. This monster or whatever is happening here. So like the whole thing has this really cool, spooky, and yet fun kind of sound. It reminds me, not literally like, I'm not making a one-to-one comparison, but it reminds me in similar ways of Oingo Boingo. Like it has a Halloween kind of flair, but at the same time, there's a party going on. It's a fun dancing skeletons in the graveyard kind of track here. Let's look at the lyrics while we are here. Dirty creature come my way from the bottom of a big black lake. Shuffles up to my window, making sure I'm awake. It's probably going to pick my brain, got me in a vice-like grip. He said, one slip, you're dead. Dirty creature of habit, little horror here to stay. Anyone in his right mind would tell it to go away. But the river of dread runs deep, full of unspeakable things. The creature don't mess around. I don't want to mess with him. Okay, so what is this creature? Who is this creature? Etc. I don't want to sail. I don't want to sail. That's a catchy chorus. I don't want to sail tonight. Dirty creatures got me at a disadvantage from the inside. Save me. It's a dirty. Tentacles on my brain, or on the brain, keep me from falling asleep. I'm rooted to the spot. The beasts don't know when to stop. Sneaking up from behind, binds and gags my wits. Dirty creature's got my head exactly where he wants it. So I think that it's representative of something that has him in its hold, whatever it may represent. Here it says, Taniwa is waiting for me. We're going to Google that in a second. Even as we speak, the dirty creature springs a nasty surprise. Dirty creature knows my type, found it in a magazine. He's seen the look of fear before, splattered all over the screen. The animal magnet thug draws me out of myself. I need a dragon slayer who can save me from myself. So it's an internal battle of some sort. I don't want to sail upon the waters of invention tonight. Get away, dirty creature. Do again. Stay away. Let's do a little. I don't want to click the annotation just yet. Just give me a Google. All right, here we go. Taniwa are supernatural creatures whose forms and characteristics vary according to different tribal traditions. Though supernatural in the Maori world view, they were seen as part of the natural environment, described as fabulous creatures living in deep waters. So I guess that's what that's probably what this picture here represents from the single, the Taniwa. They live in deep pools, rivers, dark caves of the sea. They may be considered highly respected katiaiki, or guardians of people and places. So when he says in the lyrics, it's waiting for him just below the surface, like in the deep waters, just below the surface of himself, of his soul. That's really cool. Says it was released as the lead single from their album. Tim Finn had been suffering from panic attacks at the time and co-wrote the song as a relief for his condition. And there you go. There now is the meaning behind the song, the lyrics, and his version of his own personal Taniwa. And I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Giant Heartbeat. If we don't have a beat in here that's like a heartbeat, I'm going to be disappointed. I would say so. You got the double kick. That sound is really interesting. The bass and guitar came in here. Is that vocals with the one step forward is a leap for all mankind. Old man River smiles at all he leaves behind. Oh, when temptation brings you down, I say you better spread yourself around. Red limbs and my body's torn apart. I like those very high-pitched crystalline noises. I really like the bass stepping there. Very scratchy guitar solo. What is this sound, that kind of sound? The song kind of chills things down a little bit, but it still has that very impressionable groove that really chugs things along. And I really like the bass playing on this one. So the bass is going to be Nigel Griggs playing here. And I like how at first he just kind of settles into this nice groove alongside of the heartbeat like kick drum from the drums. That's going to be performed by Noel Crombie. But in the chorus, I love how it changes between the bass and the guitar specifically. The bass starting to move a little bit more, bum, 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 right? And then the guitar, that's going to be also Neil Finn playing guitar there. And I really like the sound of his guitar and the way that it fully comes in with that beautifully sparkly kind of sound, which is kind of further accented by the way the verse has those sparkling keys kind of surrounding it. The keyboard is going to be performed by Eddie Rayner, who's also handling some extra percussion as well. And if you listen to the way, I'm assuming it's the keyboard, it has to be, you kind of hear like these sparkling high-pitched sounds during the verse that kind of pan back and forth very, very subtly. And that's really cool how it creates this really cool atmosphere alongside of the guitar that's light and sparkly and airy. And I just really liked how that sounded. There's some sounds in there that I'm assuming are samples on the keyboard from Rayner, but don't quote me on that. And it's like those wow, wow, like I don't even know I can't even emulate the sound. But it's really cool how those come through in there. And then you hear some of those later on as well in the back half of the track. It's just like this has a very unique, quirky sound. Now, I cannot help but notice that this album is produced by Hugh Padgham, who's also worked with XTC and Genesis. And the production here does remind me of the production on, listening to some XTC, in the sense of bringing out certain sounds and making it dense and interesting to listen to, kind of nearing that art pop kind of sound while still retaining that rock sound as well. And this track does a really wonderful job of that. It just has a really cool atmosphere around it, if the wow, kind of reminds me of something. It reminds me of a more modern song. Obviously, this came first. I can't think of the band. It's a relatively modern band. I don't know if it's Smashing Pumpkins, Weezer, or something. Maybe Nirvana a little bit. There's something. It's just reminding me of another song or moment from a song from another band that's more contemporary. I just can't think of which one it would be right now. Heartbeat bearing down, our world never sleeps. Feel like a zephyr harmonizing with a flute. Notes are rising in familiar twos and threes. Time of yearning is the same at any age. Back is bending and the sky is growing pale. Time. This is the time part for sure. If this was related to the album title, this is for sure the time. Sun up, sun down, fade to a look-alike. Hearts and souls move together in time. I like that, right? It all looks the same as the days go on. One step forward is a leap for all mankind. Old Man River smiles on all he leaves behind. Oh, when temptation brings you down, I say you better spread yourself around. Red limbs, my body's torn apart. Boy's hand will squeeze the giant's heart. Repeats this again. Fire burns, water drowns. Hate kills our homes. Faith helps. Love heals. This is true. This is true. And then it repeats, sun up, sun down, fade to a look-alike. If anybody's listening, the giant heartbeat is fading. Well, I kind of think of is the giant heartbeat the sun or, existence of mankind itself? And this giant's heartbeat, humanity's heartbeat, is little by little kind of fading, perhaps. And he's asking if anybody's listening. Is anyone paying attention to this? Is anyone paying attention to the time that's left, the time remaining? I don't know. I could be, of course, wrong on that, but that's kind of what I think. When I see the giant and the heartbeat fading, I think of the sun first, kind of based off of what he said here. And then I kind of open that up to life in general. Let's move on to the next track here, which is Hello, Sandy Allen. I don't know why I said it like that. Here you go. At the races. It's kind of cool how that synth emerged into this part of the song. me of Greenfield from Stranglers. This line sounds like a Greenfield for you. That's intense. Love that pitching sound. It's very unique. Seven stories of women. Nice lead into the 16th notes with the riff coming back. That was a great lead in from the percussion to the drums again. We're going to have to see how tall Sally Allen was, if this is truly based off of The World's Tallest Woman. Okay, this one's a lot more straightforward for the most part, and when it actually gets into the music with the driving, chugging riff and the way the singing is, you know, everything is very much more straightforward in this track. But there's still those little nuances, like from the very beginning, that pitching up and down sound that just sounds like a race car revving up, but definitely a little bit extra synthy. I like how that actually continues into the music and at later parts becomes a part of the music. It wasn't just used as, oh, here's a weird little intro to get you into the song. No, it is a weird intro to get you into the song, but it's actually part of the song as it continues on later on. So I like how that wasn't just an element of randomness to throw in and then it's gone. No, I like how it actually came back around. And then I really like the back half when it did return in that break alongside the absolutely rambunctious drums. That was just a fantastic kind of out of nowhere moment, and it made it all the much better. And the guitar playing right after was really nice near the end with Finn. Like those are some cool moments in this track. This actually makes me think that this comes across as like what I would consider a good single. It seems to me to have mainstream appeal, widestream appeal, but it still has some of their more quirky sensibilities to, you know, show people like, hey, this is the band. But at the same time, being able to appeal to a wider audience. You know, this one comes across to me as a really good single. But that drumming from Crombie was... And the final time it came in, the way the percussion seemed to have led into that, I'm assuming maybe from one of the other members, and then how he came in right after, it just made it that more impactful when it actually did land in here. Let's look at these lyrics. Hello, Sandy Allen, the world's tallest woman. We made friends in New York. Don't know if you'll remember. I'm bound to say it felt uneasy when I first laid eyes on you. but I liked the way you talked like a living hoper, towering over our heads in more ways than one. The hand that shook my hand was awesome. It still amazes me. That's when you shake someone's hand that you wanted to meet, they're famous or whatever. And you're like, I'm never going to wash this hand again. You better wash that hand. Hope you're happy, Sandy Allen. Hope your garden is blooming. We're all staring at the mirror, trying to put our faces on. Appearance never held you back. Must be when you're number one. You don't have to try so hard. Hello, Sandy Allen. Hope you're happy, Sandy Allen. Hope your garden's blooming. And he just repeats the lyrics from there. Now, I'm just going to do a really quick search. I just don't want anyone's random name to pop up. Okay, here we go. Sandy Allen. It's the first thing that comes up, actually. Wrong button. There you go. She was an American woman who was recognized by the Guinness World Records as the tallest woman in the world. She was 7 feet 7 inches. Her height was due to we don't need to worry about all that. Says she underwent surgery for a condition. If she didn't have this procedure, she would have continued to grow and suffer further medical problems associated with gigantism. Sorry. I mean, she do look tall. she do be looking tall. Let's see. Allen never married, saying she was an old-fashioned girl and would not date a man shorter than her. Well, I guess everyone is unfortunately shorter than you at that point. Okay, so for some reason, Split Enz just found themselves enamored, I suppose, with Miss Allen, and they said, we'll write a song about you. And perhaps maybe they even did meet her, as they kind of stated in the song. All right, let's dive into the next track here, which is Never Ceases to Amaze Me. Here we go.
Let's go walking around the block.
I like to see the clock out.
Well, you never know who you might be. Every neighborhood has a spark.
I like the call and response.
It's a non-stop action world. It ceases to amaze me.
Nice hi-hats.
Insects singing up in the tree.
Newman-esque.
Happiness is working hard away, but you get caught up because it's worth the risk. Never ceases to amaze me.
This is like a carnival of sounds. There's always something new around that corner.
Something has to break the spell. The unpredictable figure of fate puts my turtle back in his shell. It's a rough and tumble world.
This guy is so cartoony to me.
Ceases to amaze me. Up on the high trees, the artist flies with a sense of carrying on a natural high. Never ceases to amaze me.
Love that high.
Happiness is locked up all away. Will you make it without ignoring this? Never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to engage me. Never ceases to
I have to evolve into mystery here. Practicing their funk up there. I mean, I said it as the song was continuing on, but this track is just like an assortment of sounds that makes me feel like I'm at a carnival or a circus. And near the very end, he even mentions a high trapeze. So perhaps that was the intent. There are so many. Okay, maybe this would have been a better single even than the previous one, because this one has all the quirks put into this particular box, wrap it up with a nice bow, and serve it up to the radio stations everywhere. And I believe that audiences would just be delightfully surprised to have had this served to their ears in 1982. Because this one has every sound. There's even some funk undertones in here, especially with Griggs on the bass and the way that they're singing. You know, I love the falsettos at the end of every other line. Da, 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 ah. And then the call and response and the vocals are really fun. At one point, the response is, uh-oh. So there's a lot happening. And kind of like a circus or like a trapeze, it feels like multiple acts are happening on this musical stage, from the guitar playing with the bass in this really funky groove. And then there's these random sounds from Rainer on the keys. And I don't even know what he's doing, but he's doing a lot of stuff back there. It seems that him and the guitars are really giving a lot of the character work to the music. And I would say especially in this song, in which it feels all character. All character. But I still think it's really cool how they kind of also brought in and embodied a little bit of funk music in here, not only with that bass line, but also there's the way, like I said, the singing was handled, whether it's from Tim or Neil Finn, the Finn brothers. Let's go into the lyrics here. This was really a circus act of music on this one. Let's go walking around the block. Well, you never know who you might meet. Never knew you might meet. Every neighborhood has a spot. There's a likelihood of a treat. It's a non-stop action world, never ceases to amaze me. Just as it says it's a non-stop action world, there's non-stop everything happening here. Insects singing up in the tree makes a mockery of my voice. Hippopotamus in the mud nips my arrogance in the bud. It's a good line. A little goes a long way. It pays to sell yourself. Let's get into the swing of things. Discontinue the downward trend. Put an end to our ennui. Never ceases to amaze me. The music got a little more dramatic in this particular section. In the song here as well. Happiness is a broken heart away, but you get caught up because it's worth the risk. Never cease to amaze me. That's a good line. I think this is a really good line. Perhaps one of the best lyrics I've seen so far in the album. Just when everything's going great, things are going great, something happens to break the spell. Uh-oh. That's such a funny moment. The unpredictable finger of fate puts the turtle back in his shell. It's a rough and tumble world, never ceases to amaze me. Up on the high trapeze, the artist flies with a sense of daring on a natural high. Loneliness is a locked up heart away, so you make an effort to ignore the risk. It never ceases to amaze me. The world is full of amazing things in this form and that form, and he's continually surprised and amazed at it all. Says it was released as the third single from the album. And I guess with the music video, the video clip was shot in a zoo and featured Tim Finn as a groundskeeper with the rest of the band in Star Trek style uniforms. We're not going to watch the whole music video because videos lead to more copyright issues. However, I would like to get a glance. Just a glance at it. I'm pulling it up right now. He's the groundskeeper. I'm gonna be skipping around, so don't be surprised. Look at the hair. What a fun time. Well, this is so quirky. Oh my gosh, it's like Planet of the Apes. Hey, listen. Looks like a fun time and a fun day at the zoo. Let's move on into the next track, which is going to be Lost for Words, which, after looking at the music video, some may be at such a thing.
Tell me, sir, what would you do if you were me?
I'm going to get right into it.
Oops, give it jump like a kangaroo.
What's the time?
If you were me.
Is that 9/8?
I'm wide awake in a dormitory city. If you were me, what would you do to stop the noise? If you were me.
That's 9/8.
I
break again. Synth sharply coming.
Tell me, sir, what would you say if you were me? I'd lost words and I never let it die.
It's a cool groove though.
I'm scratching my head and focusing my eyes. No lack of information, but I can't explain it. I'm looking it up. I'm writing it down. I couldn't read it.
It kind of reminds me of Madness a little. It's just drum and percussion overload. I like the piano in here too. Drums got deeper and the piano got lighter. Hop that, man. Lost for Words may be my favorite song so far. I love how it's a perfect 3-minute track that just gets in, hits you hard. What is it, 9/8 or 9/4 with the time signature? The whole drum percussion build-up section I thought was so cool. The piano in that moment is so rich and luxurious and just kind of floating back and forth through the drums. And then the final little beat of those drums, the drums drop down, they get a little deeper, and then the piano becomes a little bit more light, as if like just for a final push. They both shift directions, and then it gets right back into the final moment of the track. And the whole sound has this like fun, I don't want to say aggressive, not anger, but like playfully aggressive. It's like if your cat is like playing with like, I don't know, like a toy, like you're holding like a toy and the cat's playing with it. Like the cat's playing with it because it's thinking it's trying to kill the toy mouse or whatever that you have. Like it's cute. It's like playfully aggressive. Maybe that's what I'm getting from it. And once again, the singing itself is like so cool. It's like such a strong delivery. And I like how you even have a moment in there where whichever Finn brother's singing, he has a little bit of a deeper voice and a more rockier yell in there, for lack of a better word. I love the backup group harmonies and the way that they all sing as well. And like it's just really, really cool how it all comes together in this track. And like I said, all wrapped in a 9/4 or 8 groove, which just locks you in. Which I wish that would be used more. Like we get a little 7/8 and 7/4 sometimes, but I think going one extra step sometimes can lead to some interesting concoctions, so to speak. This was definitely my favorite song so far. Tell me, sir, what would you do if you were me? Hop, skip, and jump like a kangaroo if you were me. I'm wide awake in a dormitory city if you were me. What would you do to stop the noise if you were me? I can't relate to your vicious excuses. The damage has all been done. The talking is useless. By the way, the drum, like besides even that, drum break, the drumming in here was just stellar. Tell me, sir, what would you say if you were me? I'm lost for words if you were me. I'm scratching my head and focusing my eyes. No lack of information, but I can't explain it. I'm looking up. I'm writing it down. I couldn't read it if I tried. I'm looking for words. I give it all I got. I'm lost for words. You don't even listen. It's all been said before, so I'll just turn and walk away. While I don't know what the situation happening is, I mean, it is a conversation that's happening at least between two people or two parties, and one of them is just at a loss for words. They're writing it all down. They're trying to understand perhaps the other person, but they're just not getting it. Or they are understanding, but they don't know how to respond. They're in shock, hence why they're at a loss for words. And the other person is asking, like, if you were me, what would you say if you were me? Blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the exact situation between the two people is. But regardless, one of them is they can't respond. They just find themselves at a loss in this one. And I don't see anything in this track about this particular track as well. So I'm not quite sure. But it's easily my favorite track so far. Now, let's head on over to Disneyland and hop on Small World. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to Disney. I don't believe it or not. Not everybody in Orlando goes to Disney. If you live here, you don't go to Disney. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. Like, if you live in Paris, you don't go to the Eiffel Tower. It's in your backyard. We don't go to Disney. It's there, But I don't know if I've ever been on Small World. Anyways, let's listen to it.
It's a small world, and you must agree, it's not a very big house for a large family. People moving out or making home improvements, but the basic problem never seems to go away. It's a small world. It's common knowledge. Satellite looks on, and a Russian man is sent to spy upon us. It's enough to make a man feel uncomfortable. Someone else's leader's needs kill Pacific and hope. It's a small world.
I like that little subtle percussion happening in the back.
Where there's really nothing
It's hard to pick up. I love that atmospheric rise here. Beautiful synths the way this rolls right. It almost has a police sound with the way it moves and that percussion back there. Piano here, guitar here. The panning is really nice. It's a nice entrance into the chorus, right? Great bass. I love how chill and groovy this one is. Dirty guitar lines. Depending on how the rest of the album goes, this one could be my second favorite, which is perfect right after my first, because I just love the way that it kind of relaxes a little bit. We get a strong, to me, Police influence in this track with just some of the grooves and some of the way that it moves. I love the percussion acting behind the drums here. I don't know what's being played, but it sounds like some sort of metallic rhythmic instrument, maybe like one of the phones or something of that nature. But it's just really nice how it brings a subtle rhythm to it, but also adds a little bit of light melody in the background there, which I thought was really, really nice. The actual drum sounds are also just a little bit more, I don't know if acoustic is the right word. That's not the right word, actually. A little bit more, I don't know, loose, perhaps? Not so pristine, not so, I don't know. There's just something different about the drum sounds that he's getting out of here. And the singing is a little bit more atmospheric. I love that beautiful rise in the chorus from the keys and how it just acts as this really wonderful filling in of the gaps in the chorus. So it just brings a certain nice full sound and a nice color. It's like the song moves from like a hazy orange and red into a beautiful purple and blue at that particular moment. I don't know why that's what I'm seeing, but like that's just a really nice moment in this track, and it kind of sounds peaceful to me. It sounds calm and relaxed and very thoughtful. It reminds me of like standing or sitting on a hill and just looking over the fields ahead or whatever your scenery may be. Like it just reminds me of peace and that kind of thing. Let's look at these lyrics. Wrong song. It's a small world and you must agree it's not a very big house for a large family. People moving out or making home improvements, but the basic problem never seems to go away. Love how, of course, he's talking about the world, but relating it to a family, all of us living in this house. It's common knowledge satellite looks on and a Russian man is sent to spy upon us. It's enough to make a man feel uncomfortable. Someone else's leader meets kill Pacific Atoll. It's a small world. Oh, well, there's only just enough to go around. Want to shout about it. Small world, and it's getting smaller. There's no getting away from it all in a small world. Baby boom town and the population swells. There's a broken circuit. No one tells the truth. Are we mammals with a future in this nutshell? When you're small, it should be easier to pick things up. It's a small world. I like that line. When you're small, it should be easier to pick things up. And yet, perhaps not. Want to hold it in my hand, gonna roll it like a ball, or a drop in the ocean, gonna shout about it. Small world is getting smaller. There's no getting away from it. Yeah, it's a strange place for bringing up your children when there's no guarantee that they'll have a future in a small world. So I mean, obviously the whole song is just about the world being small and, not in a, small communal sense, but a small, not even overpopulated sense, but just like, everyone's in their own little circles, and those are small circles or small bubbles. But I do love the first stanza when he's talking about, it's not a very big house for a large family. People move out, make improvements, but the basic problems, the problems that I don't know, in 2025 feels like we should be a little past them. Those basic problems still seem to haunt and still seem to be there. And you would think that maybe we move past that a little bit, but not quite. Let's move to the next track here, which is going to be Take a Walk. Taking a Walk is going to be on the wild side. That was silly. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. It's a cool fade in. Very funky bass line to settle on.
Time to slip out my back door. Sunrise dancing on my wall. Heading down a beaten track.
Quick flashes on that hi-hat.
Yesterday
Really great break. Strong piano and guitar as well. It's just tinkling on that thing.
I could take a walk again, up a mountain to a stream, standing on the open rock, looking out over the sea. Funny when we move ahead, never worry what we leave behind. Remember what a friend of mine said, you gotta be kind. Take a walk, take a walk. Gotta be kind. Take a walk, take a walk, take a walk, take a walk.
It's a bass change. Okay, Take a Walk is aggressively funky. This one is aggressively funky. Even the way they're singing, take a walk, take a walk, take a walk. Even the way they're yelling almost back and forth at each other. This is how I imagine that. It's like if two people got into an argument on the street and they decided not to fight, they just walk away from each other. But as they're walking away, they're telling each other, take a walk with the way that they're singing. Because it sounds like they're like, take a walk. Take a walk. Like they're just yelling back and forth at each other, telling each other, get out of here, basically. The piano is so, once again, just aggressive and heavy-handed in the way that it's being played here. That's which Finn is it that's playing the piano? Tim Finn playing piano. And it's just like so he's just like jamming down on it. And at certain points he plays like a melody that almost sounds off with the music, but he just kind of throws it in. It's like I like how like he brings like such a unique sound into the song just with the way that he performs the piano or that solo. The bass is Griggsing it up, and I mean it's deep and funky, and it just moves and thrives really, really nicely. I love the ending. Bum, 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 bum. He kind of adds a tension at certain moments with really nicely with the drumming. The hi-hat work from Crombie on the drums is also sensational to listen to. It all is truthfully sensational to listen to. But this track just feels notably aggressively funky. Just listen. Take a walk, take a walk. Time to split out my back door. Sunrise dancing on my wall. Heading down off beaten tracks. Try to get that feeling back. I could take a walk again up a mountain to a stream. Standing on an open rock. Looking out over the sea. Funny when we move ahead. Never worry about what we leave behind. I could always find some peace in the back of beyond. Kind voice from yesterday, give love, fill up every space. But now I laugh at simple truth, sneer and frown like we all do. Is he becoming a little jaded, perhaps? When the long night awakes with memories of midnight feast, feel the boy in me escape. There's a field of frost beneath my feet. Run, never tire, run, boy, forever and ever. I could take a walk again up to a mountain, a stream, stand on the open rock, looking over the sea. And he says, funny when we move ahead, never worry what we leave behind. Remember what a friend of mine said, you gotta be kind. So it's like taking a walk. Funny how we move ahead, never worry what we leave behind. We just move forward. And he thinks about what his friend said, you gotta be kind. Like this walk is taking a reflective moment to think about the past, to think about where you've walked from, so to speak, and perhaps extending that to life experiences and to life in general. Is how I kind of read that. Looking back at the past, Time and Tide, thinking about the title of the album again. And speaking of the title, all right, let's see. Pioneer is just a 1 minute 30 track, which anytime I see a song that's below 2 minutes, I just think interlude or something of that nature. And I'm clicking on Pioneer. It says it's an instrumental. Now, I do know for a fact, because I remember the track after that is 6 months in a leaky boat, and I know I've seen people recommend that track in the comments. Let's see. Some of you that had see, I know some of you that suggested that: Michael Rohan, Mighty V, Wallbanger Reactions, Sarah Jane, Frank Pennigelli, T. Hughes, Rayanne, David watches YouTube. Now you're watching me. MP the New Guy, Julianne Tomlinson. See, I knew some of you mentioned this one because I've seen this track in the comments quite a bit. Music Fan, Andrew Owlett, James Dignan Music, Doppelinger, Ruben Altera. I got you. Slicko DePoo, Robert Willoughby, John Paul Filkins, Moshley, Brewster, my sumo friend, Randy Hall, Richard Furness, and that's it. Actually, I got all of you. So I remember this. I remember seeing this one in the comment section before, and how perfect. That's hold on. Let me see. Let me check one thing here because I saw it as I'm gonna make this quicker so I can find it. Here you go. 3 of you, Frank Pennigelli, T. Hughes, and MP the New Guy. All of you even mentioned that this song transitions into the next Pioneer into 6 months. See, I don't always remember every comment, that's for sure. But sometimes I do remember certain things. I take certain mental notes. Sometimes actual notes. And I can't show you my documents, but I have a few document pages with other notes. I try to keep a little bit of a list. Okay, Pioneer into 6 months. Really, I do like this instrumental actually quite a bit. Because you're tied. Really beautifully cosmic instrumental, actually. Okay, let's listen to the next track, 6 months. Love that synth. I see. That synth, I'm just half that's unexpected. God, I love the keys on this one.
Shipwreck love can be cruel. Don't be fooled by her kind. There's a wind in my sails. Will protect and prevail. I just spent 6 months in a leaky boat. Nothing to a leaky boat.
Very nice break. Very nice ending here. Okay, it's very, very easy to see why this track had been suggested so many times and recommended, because it's a very, very cool track. I love that piano line that just goes throughout, or that keyboard line that comes throughout here. It is so wonderful, and I like how it's really there the majority of the track. It doesn't go away in the chorus or go away. No, it's there the majority of the track. It is that musical spine that binds everything around it, the fleshy guitar and the very cool but passionate vocals as well. This is just a cool driving track. The chorus is a wonderful step up, and then that halftime step for the very ending of the chorus is a nice addition. The break, or I guess I should say the ending that we just heard, was so wonderfully built up. I could have absolutely wished that the band would play that extended. This could have been, instead of a 4-minute track, give me an extra minute of that. Give me an extra minute at that end and just let that ride out. Maybe even do a solo or something after it at some point. It was just such a powerful moment at the end of the track, which I really, really enjoyed. And it was just all too short, all too short. And even that halftime section after the chorus, just a little too short. It was, but I guess that's what a good performer does, right? They leave you wanting more. And with this track, they've left me wanting more. So definitely easy to understand. That was really, really a cool track, though. This was definitely, all right, I've said it a couple times, but this track would probably make the best single from the album, or maybe one of the best singles. And I do see that it was one of them. But for now, let's look at these lyrics. And the Pioneer, lovely piano playing, and I love the atmosphere on that as well. When I was a young boy, I wanted to sail around the world. That's the life for me, living on the sea. Spirit of a sailor circumnavigates the globe. The lust of a pioneer will acknowledge no frontier. A nice dream. I remember you by thunderclap in the sky. Lightning flash, tempers flare. Round the horn if you dare. I just spent 6 months in a leaky boat. Lucky just to keep afloat. Aotearoa. Hold on, I cannot pronounce that. I know it's New Zealand. Aotearoa. Rugged individual, glisten like a pearl at the bottom of the world. The tyranny of distance didn't stop the cavalier. That's a good line. So why should it stop me? I'll conquer and stay free. Come on, you lads, let's forget and forgive. There's a world to explore, tales to tell back on shore. Like, he has the dream of becoming, you know, a explorer, a navigator, sailing the high seas, adventure, reward. He has this dream, but the reality is, I had to spend 6 months in a leaky boat. Shipwrecked love can be cruel. Don't be fooled by her kind. There's a wind in my sails, will protect and prevail. Then it ends once again there. That's at least how I read this. You know, and you could, of course, expand upon that and say, you know, everyone has dreams and the other side is, the grass is always greener on the other side. Sometimes when you get to the other side, maybe, you know, you end up spending some time in a leaky boat, so to speak. Says that this is the second single from the album, becoming a top 10 hit in Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, going on to be voted the 5th best New Zealand song ever in 2021. Its chart performance was less successful in the UK owing to its release during the Falklands War. Despite being recorded prior to the outbreak, some in Britain considered the song to be veiled criticism of the war with Argentina. It was subsequently removed from radio playlists in the UK, including the BBC, since it was considered that references to leaky boats were inappropriate during the naval action in the war. And it goes on from there. Your chart information, as mentioned, 2 in Canada, 2 in Australia, it's 7 in Canada and New Zealand, and UK 83 and US 81. Easy to see why that one was highly recommended. Let's move ourselves off of the boats and onto the next track, which is Haul Away, which kind of like, it doesn't say anything here on the Wikipedia article. But this is kind of like, maybe not a concept album, but definitely a thematic album. Time, we talked about that with some of the lyrics in some of the songs here. And Tide, clearly, obviously, this song is, you know, water-based. And Haul Away perhaps could even relate against a tide. I don't know. Like I said, maybe not a concept album, but at least there's some thematic connections happening here. Okay, Haul Away. This sounds naval, like piratey.
I was born in Tiawamutu, 25th of June 1952. 10 pounds of boy, all away, all away, all away.
Like a sea
My
shanty.
father's pride and joy. Richard and Mary, drink to my journey, all away.
That's so cool. This is like something Jethro Tull would do.
I left home at the age of 13, went to boarding school on a scholarship. Small fish, big sea, all away, all away, all away. No more happy childhood days for me. Catholic condition, strength through exhaustion, all away.
It's a very interesting rhythm here with the way he sings.
At 21, I was thirsting for experience, and my brain was about to burst. Stare at the rock, all away, all away, all away. That northern approach worked like a drug. Nothing was different, everything changed then.
It's the most unique song perhaps on the album.
Years ago in an Auckland flat, this odyssey began, motivates me still. Northward I'm bound, all away, all away, all away. Ambition has lost me friends and time. Young men are waiting, lapping at my heels, all away. Now I'm having a nervous breakdown, but my mates will see that I don't go down. Love goes all wrong, all away, all away, all away. That's all we can do to carry on. Everyone has their own little story, all away, all away.
Okay, let me talk about Haul Away really quick. This was like the most surprising song so far, just stylistically. It's like a sea shanty folk song, very reminiscent, or it makes me think of like Jethro Tull and something that they would do. The rhyme and meter and the direction that he sings in here is very interesting. It's like it changes time signatures like very quickly, and yet he still makes it flow very well, especially the way he sings perfectly alongside of that those keys right underneath him. I love how both of those were so synced up and in line, and it was really cool to follow this particular swing of the music. And once again, I could not tell you which Finn brother is singing here, but I love the singing. There's a closeness that he's singing with which here to the mic. The way the music is a little bit more bare bones, of course, than what was preceding it, also lends itself to this kind of folky sound that we've gotten into here. And even as it's more bare bones, we have that moment about halfway through where the music almost seems drowned out, almost as if it's going through some sort of phaser or such, and then it comes back with full drum, much more heavy, kind of getting a wartime kind of marching orders drum sound there as well. Just a very cool song stylistically, and the little penny whistle keys coming in there as well. This was a really interesting diversion at this particular point in the album. I was born in Te Awamutu, 25th of June, 1952. 10 pounds of boy, haul away, haul away, haul away. My mother and father's pride and joy, Richard and Mary, drink to my journey, haul away. I left home at the age of 13, went to boarding school on a scholarship. Small fish, I like how he says scholarship, and then small fish, big C. Haul away, haul away. No more happy childhood days for me. Catholic condition, strength through exhaustion. Haul away. At 21, I was thirsting for experience and my brain was about to burst. Stare at the rug, haul away. That novel approach worked like a drug. Nothing was different. Everything changed then. Years ago in an Auckland flat, this odyssey began. Motivates me still, northward bound or unbound, haul away. Ambition has lost me friends in time. Telling them about split ends. Please clap. Young men are waiting, lapping at my heels. Now I'm having a nervous breakdown, but my mates will see that I don't go down. Love goes all wrong, haul away, haul away. It's all we can do to carry on. Everyone has their own little story, haul away. I mean, he even mentioned split ends in here. And, I mean, we read before with the first track on the album about the panic attacks. Could this part be related? And his mates are his bandmates because he mentioned split ends over here? I mean, I don't know which Finn brother singing this one. Nothing on T-Finn. Okay, so it's Tim Finn. So is this just Tim Finn? Like, is this just about him? It says he was born in... Okay, here's how we're going to know. 25th of June, 1952. Hold on. This deserves... Hold on. No, hold on. This deserves one... I don't have it on my soundboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It deserves that one. It deserves that one. All right, let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Log Cabin Fever, which we heard it going right into after Haul Away. I like the second half of the album. It's kind of changed a little bit.
Downstairs in the cellar, drums are beating. Wounded, no discomfort, emotions bleeding. And the river alone, always alone, out of my depth. Headlong to the ocean, will I sink or swim?
Maybe this is the most unique one stylistically. The bass is spooky, but
Too much fun.
building that empty, ominous sound.
It's cold out, hear the wind howl down the chimney.
Big snare.
Wish I could just cry out to someone help. Live in isolation of the cruelest kind. Scared to show our colors to the world. Time to break away.
Guitar lighten that up.
Mission to join the human race. See what I'm missing, try to face the day. My private passion is eating me away.
Everyone's singing. Solo. I love how Log Cabin Fever brings back that spooky, kind of ominous, moody sound, like with Dirty Creature, right how it kind of opened up. And I love how much space is left for this mood. This is, once again, another good Halloween track here. All that space left open in there. And then we begin to get it filled with some of the ambience of like keys and a big pop on the snare at one point that's kind of like an audible jump scare. And everything's just kind of creeping around. You mentioned the chimney. There's some sounds almost like shuffling coming in. There's always some musical aspect lurking in the background, a note here, a note there. And the way the singing is carried through is just like audibly, almost like hiding in the closet from the killer outside the door. And like just kind of quiet and spooky. And then I love the bass line from Griggs and how it's simple. It's just kind of pulsing along gently. But as he produces that pulse, it's almost like the heartbeat. Like when you're scared and you can hear your heartbeat, you're hiding in the closet. You know the killer's outside somewhere and your heartbeat is just going. You're trying to steady it because you feel like it's pounding out of your chest that so loud that even they can hear it. Like, I love how he just plays that. And this whole thing just reeks of that scary terror lying wait in the dark. And then eventually it does come out. There's that brief moment where acoustic guitar starts coming out, strumming along, just lightens things up. The band comes in full in a nice light mood before it kind of gets full again, but this time with heart-stricken terror. And the rest of the band just cries out in there. That was a really nice track and could be another one of my favorites, perhaps. Downstairs in the cellar, drums are beating. Wounded, no discomfort, emotions bleeding. In the river alone, always alone out of my depth. Headlong to the ocean, will I sink or swim? Heard them tell the story of mad old Jim. Found him in his cabin with his head caved in. Waiting out the winter was a little too much for him. So cabin fever, stuck inside, can't get out. Log cabin fever, I guess mad old Jim was inside his cabin a little bit too long and said, yep, I'm going out one way or another. It's cold out here. The wind howled down the chimney. Wish I could just cry out to someone. Help. But we live in isolation of the cruelest kind, scared to show our colors to the world. Time to break away from my condition, rejoin the human race, and see what I'm missing. Try to face the day my private passion is eating me away. Log cabin fever, it's a remote possibility. Log cabin fever, it's an impossible delivery. Log cabin fever, it's not an impossibility. Like, it can happen to anyone, and you don't even necessarily have to be literally in isolation. You could find yourself in this remote situation emotionally, and you don't want to go out like old man Jim or mad old Jim. So, that's for sure. Let us move on to the final track of the album, which is Make Sense of It. What are we trying to make sense of? It. Makes you want to work out.
From deep within the forest, the heart of man still hollers. The Congo where life began, living proof of the master plan. Driving home from a day at work.
Nice half step for halftime. Gorgeous bass line. And that high-pitched theremin-like sound. Some very fast percussion back there, huh? That's striking. That gentle synth pulse happening. I don't know why this reminds me of Rush a little bit. Nice come down. That always signals something. It's breaking down. There's time signature change at the very end. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, a full album listen and reaction of Time and Tide from Split Enz. Ending with Make Sense of It. I feel like there's something crawling on my leg. Sorry. Make Sense of It. This is like the kitchen sink. Everything's thrown into this one. You got the spooky section at the end. You got some heaviness that actually comes in quite surprisingly as well. And then you have those lighter moments, which the song began with, and which I thought it was really going to be. Those cool rhythmic, just kind of easy paced moments, but then the music gets heavy and kind of frantic at certain moments, which I thought was really, really cool. That ending where the time signature changes, we move back into spooky territory, and it kind of empties itself out in that moody abyss, whereas previously it was dancing in a pleasurable bliss. I'm learning from James Paiva. I'm learning from you, James, your poetry. But I thought that this was a good conclusive track to the album. It brings everything together. It gives you a little sampling plate of everything that you had heard previously, and then it puts it down. I once again like Rainer's keyboard work in here. From you have those synthy pulses, that theremin-like keyboard sound that comes in very high pitched, wavering over the music at certain points. And then, you know, I just like the sounds that he brings into it because it's very unique. Like, if anything, this album and listening to each of the tracks here, they're all very unique, and the band really does have a style that sounds completely, at least to my, ears, just unique to them and themselves. I mean, if I had to give them any sort of like similar artists, I would say like XTC. Maybe it hasn't been a lot that I've listened to from this band, but Madness or something like that. Like bands that are taking a genre and just doing something different or extra with them, and truly progressing and experimenting within the genre. And at least off of a first album listen with this album and then one track previously, Split Enz seems to be also working that same particular road. From deep within the forest, the heart of man still hollers. In the Congo where life began, living proof of a master plan. When you're living home from a day to work, or driving home from a day to work, or at work, and you stumble on some forgotten truth, pounding down a hammer through glass, if you could only make some sense of it. I mean, all right, truly, trying to make sense of it all. Don't lose your sense of humor, boycott the guilty party. In the midst of human crisis, goodwill triumphant rises. If you need a friend you can rely upon, someone to help make some sense of it. If you shed a tear when the nightmare breaks, just remember, dreams go in opposites. That's a good line. You're holding on. Yeah, you're holding on. You're holding on to make sense of it. You realize you're not the only one who's trying to make some sense of it. I love the positivity and the motivation that the band has given us here. Everyone in the world is just trying to make some sense of it. We're all in the same race. When you're in the arms of the one you love, you can forget the daily push and shove. You need a friend you can rely upon, a bit of help to make sense of it. Can I tell you, just to break a little fourth wall, and I'm very influenced by some of the YouTubers I watch, and I try to watch a lot of, not, for lack of a better word, positive YouTubers. You know what I mean? And part of my goal with this channel, besides the obvious, is for this channel to be a place where you can forget about the daily grind, work, school, problems, issues, health, things like that. I want this channel to be like a little bit of a sanctuary, of course, in the form of listening to music, which is obviously very therapeutic. And I want the channel to embody that. I want this to be a place that you can get away. Because for me, this room and this place is also a place that I can get away and surround myself with good music and doing something that I love, So I love this sentiment there from the band. I really hope that you guys enjoyed listening to this album. Okay, my favorite songs on this one, I definitely have to give Lost for Words. Lost for Words, Small World. I like Log Cabin Fever a lot. And then probably finally 6 months. I think if I had to give an immediate ranking, that would be my ranking right now. Lost for Words, Small World, Log Cabin Fever, 6 months. That's if you were forcing me, you held a water gun to my head, that's where I'd be. And I would not be getting wet. Really hope that you guys enjoy spending some time with me here. I really enjoy you taking the time, an hour and 30 minutes out of your day, to just spend some time here listening to some music with me. And I hope that it was time well spent for you, because it's always time well spent for me. Like I said, just getting away and listening to some music. So hope that you guys enjoyed it. Of course, let me get the plugs out the way. Once again, buy me a coffee. If you have a song request and you don't want to wait or take the chance that I may never see it, because I may not, you can request it over there. Patreon, exclusive content. And then, of course, if you don't mind, just subscribing and liking the video. If you want, you can share it as well. Please enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Hope that you finish your meal, finish your drinks, whatever you're snacking on, And thank you, as always, for just sharing some of your day with me. Have a wonderful one, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.